it's completely worth it when you learn how to make something all by yourself and people like think like, wow, it's a professional product. It's great, and you can do it too. So hello, welcome to the Hardcore Herbalist. I'm Jen. I'm the host of this new channel, and I'm going today to show you how to make a hand salve using nut and seed butters. The first is cocoa butter, then shea butter, then this is mango butter. We're also going to use some beeswax, and of course I freaking forgot it. We're going to also use some infused olive oil. This is olive oil that was infused with comfrey leaf as well as calendula flowers and chamomile flowers. Okay, so we're going to use this along with these different nut and seed butters and some beeswax, and we're going to make a really nice hand salve. Now, the mango butter and the shea butter, which on their own don't feel gritty at all. They feel relatively smooth. After they are combined with other butters and melted down, sometimes when they re-solidify, they can make your salve or your lip balm feel lumpy and gritty. And we don't want that. That's obviously like one of the main like experiences when you're using an all-natural product. You want it to be smooth, you want it to absorb nicely, you don't want to feel like it's leaving some kind of like gritty residue on your skin that you have to wait a couple of minutes for your skin to heat up in that area, or you have to wipe it off. It's not super good. So this is a great example of when shea butter or mango butter are included in a salve, but it is heated up for not long enough or cooled too slowly. We try to cool it as quickly as possible and leave it in the freezer for at least a day. Here's another example. This one is got like finer little beads, but still it feels like a little tiny bit of sand or something, a very fine grain of sand. This one feels lumpy. And even though it does feel nice on the fingers, eventually it doesn't look pretty, and it's not exactly what you'd want to give your mom for Mother's Day. This is an example of a really great salve. You can see how smooth it is, just smooth in appearance. There's no bumps at all. My finger just glides across a bit. Make a hand salve. This right here, my test kitchen. Welcome to my apartment. This is where I work on little recipes, and then I experiment on the other humans that are in my life and at my gym. That's how I develop my new products, and that's kind of a little bit of what you're going to get a chance to see in here today, one at a time. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and put the beeswax over here so I don't dump it out. I buy beeswax in small beads so it melts easier, and if you're using recipes where you need a specific amount of beeswax, then you're gonna want to be able to measure out small amounts. Believe me, I've done the hacking away at a 1 pound block of beeswax for hours before. It is not a great use of your time, and it's definitely worth it to buy like slightly smaller preparations of the beeswax. These three butters, let's go ahead and talk about the mango butter first, since that is the one that is right here on my spatula. So again, here's the mango butter. It has a low melting temperature. It actually melts on contact with the skin. That little piece that I just touched in my hand has actually already been melted. The shea butter is like, it's the one that's most like butter. You could smear this on some bread. I don't think it would taste very good, to be honest, but it is used in cooking. Actually, cocoa butter and shea butter are both used in cooking. And Don't see any reason why, I mean, you wouldn't want to eat them, but I haven't eaten them. This is, it's definitely the one that's most like a lotion on its own. So that's very nice. Shea butter has a really nice kind of light, earthy aroma. It's actually been used for a really long time. From like the time of Cleopatra in Egypt, they were trading, like the caravans were trading in shea butter for cosmetic purposes. So people have been using this for a really long time. It melts at your body temperature, so it's rapidly absorbed into your skin. Like I said, when I rubbed a little bit into my skin before, it's totally absorbed. Okay, cocoa butter here. When you pick it up, like honestly, this feels, you can hear it tapping, maybe. I'll try tapping it when I use the camera. Here is the cocoa butter. I'm gonna tap it again. Cocoa butter actually has a melting temperature that is lower than body temperature. Cocoa butter is a popular ingredient in lotions, but it's not popular on its own, right? So we need to melt it down. And the combination of all three of these, plus a little bit of olive oil, plus beeswax, which, as we know, is made by bees, and it's one of nature's like many all natural miracles. Quite honestly, every single thing on this table is an all natural miracle, and you could probably eat all of these things without it hurting you very much, although I don't think it would taste very good. Maybe with like some spices and rice. Okay, all right, so next on my list are the cocoa butter and the shea butter. So the shea butter, so I'm going to use this measure. Again, this is the most shmeary of the butters. Okay. To my cup, to my pot of melting butters. It's actually quite beautiful, the shea butter, even though it's a pain in the neck and it sticks to everything. And then it melts all over you. It's awesome inside of your beautiful salve. Here is our melting mango butter. Sorry, mango butter. We haven't added the cocoa butter yet. Here's our shea butter. It's mushy and smeary. Here's like a few remaining bits of beeswax. A lot of the beeswax is gone though. It's all melted in. This is a very lowest temperature that my stove is capable of here in my house. So you gotta just keep an eye on it. You do not want to get this thing boiling, and it's freaking dangerous. If you have any small kids, keep them out of the kitchen while you're making salves, or put this on the back burner, because hot oil and hot wax burn worse than hot water. So yeah, if you have kids in the house and you're making any kind of herbal medicine, keep that on the back burner. And honestly, I don't know how you could concentrate with kids being awake while you're trying to do this kind of work. So they're going to be asleep anyway. Be careful. Don't burn yourself with the hot wax and the hot oil. Okay. And today, this is the big news. We're going to keep this above 175 degrees for over 20 minutes, and then we're going to pour it, and then we're going to put it in the freezer, and that's how we're going to keep it from hardening in a gritty fashion. Okay, one thing at a time. Next, I got to measure out the cocoa butter. Cocoa butter is a giant pain in the neck. Did I say that already? It's really a giant pain in the neck. When it's still not at your body temperature, you can kind of slice it up and it sort of has hard edges, and then it turns to mush the second you try and control it a tiniest bit. Cocoa butter is a little bit Requires a little bit of elbow grease. All right. Why did I save the cocoa butter for last? I wonder. Okay. Okay, one thing at a time. And then you have this wonderful handmade product that you can share with your family at Christmas time. You can share with people on their birthdays. Everybody loves a handmade gift. And then also it gives a real special feeling of empowerment when you learn how to make something yourself. Sometimes I used to think like, oh, I would never be able to do all of this stuff. You have to have a factory. No, you just need a few cooking implements and a little bit of information and knowledge. Because the last ingredient that we might have to add a little tiny bit more of is the beeswax. That's what will make sure that our salve has the right thickness and consistency. You don't want a salve that, even if it's smooth, is really hard or really soft. You want it just right. Okay, so how do we test how thick this salve is? Right now it's pretty warm still. So I take my spoon that I've been using to stir, and I take a tiny amount of the salve on my spoon, and then I just dab it on my foil covered cookie sheet. Now we're watching for just a few seconds while that solidifies. See, wow, that was pretty cool. And you can see the hand salve is now becoming opaque. Might still have, I'm usually really impatient, so it's probably still a little too early to touch it. Just go ahead and, I don't know the close-up thing on this camera. There we go. All right, so now, it's been a few seconds. I'm going to take my finger, I'm going to go ahead and dip it in. It feels okay, but it's very soft. You can see, like, when I put some on, it's like basically by the time I pick it up with my finger, oops, it's already melting. So we want something that's going to stay creamy and not turn into oil before you have a chance to rub it around a little bit on your hands. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little tiny bit more beeswax to this pot. I'm going to just keep the temperature above 175 for the entire time while we're adding some beeswax. I'm going to go ahead and add 2 grams of beeswax, which there's 2 grams of beeswax, just a tiny little bit that I measured out before. So the story is that a little tiny bit of beeswax goes a really long way. So that's why I'm just basically going to add 2 grams to this entire thing. It's basically barely a spoonful of beeswax. Very small amount. Alright. I mean, basically, if these little beeswax kernels were rice, it would not even be a good mouthful of rice. It's amazing how a little bit of tiny beeswax goes a long way. So I'll get my little spoon. I'm going to go put it right next to this one that I thought was good in the first place. Go ahead and watch it as it gets cooled off. That's pretty cool, huh? Awesome. Here's the first one you can see. It's actually like a little bit more filmy looking still, and then this one is a tiny bit more opaque. The beauty of beeswax. Go ahead and get a little tiny bit. You can just feel it feels like a little bit harder to the touch. I think that's going to be a great consistency. It might seem counterintuitive, but you really don't want to fill this up. I basically have it filled just till about there. It gives you a lot more control when you're pouring. And then it just helps sometimes to get low. Okay, now we've got to get this in the freezer. Okay. Awesome. So now I'm taking this and gently getting it into the freezer. Try not to bang it on everything. Wait, now. Hi, how's it going? So I'm going to go ahead and finish up my demo. Here are my salves that I put in the freezer. If you're not gonna forget, then I would say at least 24 hours, at least overnight, because I did take one of these out and it was fine after 24 hours and it hasn't reverted to having any little beads or any little grittiness in the salve from the mango shea butter combo. But it doesn't seem like it hurts to leave it in there a couple days, 3 days. And I did notice that there was like just a little bit of like condensation on the on my salves when I got out. So don't put the cap right on. Let it sit in the air and let the condensation evaporate. Try not to let anything jump on it. Maybe put a little bit of aluminum foil or a paper towel over. And one other thing to do when you're putting lids on your containers is go ahead and just rub them with a little bit of a paper towel. Sometimes when you have the when you have the melted salve and you jostle your table a little bit, it will spill a little bit of the salve onto your tray. So you want to go ahead and wipe off the bottoms of those so that they don't feel greasy to anyone that you might give them to. Great. Thanks so much for watching my video. If you like what you saw, I'm going to be doing videos every week from now forward. So go ahead and subscribe and then you'll be notified the next time one of my videos is posted. Hey, thanks again, and thanks for checking out the Hardcore Herbalist. Have an awesome day. Okay.